There it goes. Hey, what's going on? Today is November 8th. It's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and you're listening and watching the Daily AI Show live. A little bit of a delay there. Made me miss my beat on the music. I like when I'm able to hit the beat. You know, it comes in hard. You know, and I'm ready for it to do my big intro, get excited.
It's called the drop. You missed the drop.
I did miss the drop. Thank you, Andy. You're absolutely right. I did miss the drop. The drop was there. We didn't go live, I think, until after the drop. So yeah, I was ready. There was a little bit of a delay.
Just for the folks of you outside the Americas, it's 11 p.m. in Perth, Western Australia.
Oh,
it is. Yeah, we didn't talk about this a couple days ago. Aaron came in and he's like, "What's going on? Where is everybody?" And then he's like, "Wait a minute, hold on. Did you guys have David say this time?" And then we found out that you actually don't have it, right, Aaron? You said they outlawed it in Perth. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, I think they had a vote about it years ago, and everyone rejected it. So we haven't had it for years.
I wish we would get around to that on our side. Like, it's weird. Individual states like Florida voted on it years ago, 2018, and said we should have perpetual daylight savings time. At the same time, California did the same thing. Is it a federal thing? No. Federal law will tell you that you can not have daylight savings time. That's not against the law. But like Florida wants perpetual daylight savings time. So it's a whole thing, and not what the news is about today for AI. So we will move on. Today we got there's four of us today. We got Beth, we got Andy, we got Aaron, and Brian. The rest of our crew. This is always the nice part about having seven of us, because even when half of us are out, we still have a good quorum here to still have a good conversation. So today is AI in the news. So on Wednesdays we talk about all the fun AI news that we think was interested in, and not collectively, but individually as well, for the last 7-ish days. So this week was particularly interesting because there was like one really big drop, and that came out of Dev Day on Monday, just 2 days ago, for OpenAI. And I think maybe so that we don't lose the whole 30 minutes, maybe we should pause and do some other news stories first and then come to that one. I feel like if we start on Dev Day, we won't get to anything else. Yeah. So with that in mind, I'll just kind of kick it off here, because I just had two stories that I thought were really interesting. Maybe outside of Dev Day, I don't know, it wasn't the biggest news. So Elon Musk comes out and he says, hey, you know, he's been working on his, it's no secret that he's been working on his own his own AI platform. He said, I'm going to create new LLMs. It's going to do this, that, and the other. Well, a couple of days ago, they announced what they called, now I'm going to ask you guys, is it Grok or Grok? It's got a line over the O.
It's Grok.
Grok. Okay. Grok. And Grok, I'm going to go to oh man, I just had it up on my screen. Give it back. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong one. Okay, here we go. Grok is an AI modeled after the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now, that full stop. You could stop there and tell you everything you need to know about the LLM. So intended to answer almost anything and far harder, even suggest what questions ask. Grok is designed to answer questions with a bit of wit and has a rebellious streak. So please don't use it if you hate humor. The more latest news is that they expect this to be the LLM that's available in all Teslas going forward. Now, when and where and all that stuff, it doesn't really say. It could be well down the future, but it just kind of makes me laugh, this idea that that's your language model. That's what you get to use if you're in a Tesla, is a witty language model on a Tesla. And I mean, does that kind of fit Tesla owners? I don't know.
You'll be driving down the road and your Tesla hands off the wheel, and the car will be giving you sass. So.
giving you sass when you do it. So I don't know. What do you guys? Before I move on to the second one here, what do you guys think? Any like initial knee-jerk reactions to Grok?
I think it may be interesting to experience what his witty LLM programming is like. But in terms of its competence, I read someone who had done something comparative and said that it's about like GPT 3.5. That's the level of intelligence that it has, which is a far cry from what GPT-4 Turbo is.
Right. Sure. And that's actually their internal comparison is also saying it's about 3.5. I am not a Tesla owner, but the people that I know who own Teslas, it does not seem to be the same market. for me. I don't know. If you own a Tesla and you think this is like brilliant, and yes, come on with the sass while you're driving.
Same
let
Venn
us know.
diagram flame market of the flamethrower that he put out. Same Venn diagram right in the middle there. Grok, flamethrower, center. There you go. Or Tesla,
I will
center.
say that it will not be a difficult. It won't be a difficult thing for Tesla to incorporate XAI into the Tesla vehicles.
Right.
They'll just do a software update, and now it'll be that you can speak to your car and have, you know, any maybe they already have that. I don't know. Maybe they have something similar to Alexa already built into Teslas. I don't have a Tesla. Does anyone here know?
I don't know. I don't. I have EVs, but I don't have. I'm not a
XAI will be in there.
I actually have two friends who are Tesla owners, funnily enough, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Tesla fan myself, but I think it's amazing what they've done. I personally would not want to own a Tesla, but that's for other reasons outside of, it had nothing to do with Elon Musk or AI. I will say that I did see what was an example on Twitter X of what this was. I guess somebody had early, or we're assuming had early access. And I mean, honestly, I couldn't even put it on the screen. It's definitely a not safe for work answer. When one of them was, and then when it said, can you give me a more of an adult answer? It 100% gave it more of an adult answer. And, you know, hey, listen, I'm all for fun and you know, having a good time. And it was a funny answer or whatever, but not something that you're going to even once pull up on a computer at work or something like that for fear of, you know, having issues or anything. So that was that, but I agree, Andy. Yeah.
My thoughts on it, to be honest, are largely shadowed by my opinions on Elon Musk's personality and his political views. My main concern is that a lot of what he does is very inflammatory and a lot of hype in there, and it's primarily designed to grow share market value and gain attention, that sort of stuff. So whether Grok turns out to be the savior of the planet Earth or not is something I will reserve judgment on until I've had a chance to look at it. I'm not sort of keeping my fingers. I'm not expecting it to be miraculous. Who knows?
Yeah. So maybe we'll all be surprised.
Hard to separate from Elon, right? Hard to separate Grok as the product from Elon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to talk quickly about Midjourney's style tuner, because Midjourney is like Midjourney is the opposite of I don't know. OpenAI's stuff was pretty like mind-blowing also, and not super hyped. Although we'll talk more about that. But Midjourney is like, well, we're working on some stuff. We might do some stuff, you know, like this is sort of where we're going, and then something is dropped and it's like phenomenal. And Style Tuner is like that. So what Style Tuner does is it lets you give a prompt and set it as a style. And you all know that I have particular styles that I like to come back to and that I like to combine and do fusion kinds of things. So Style not only lets me play with that and get to a place where I can be somewhat consistent over a series of images. I can also set two different styles and start playing with fusion. Like you can combine styles, you can tune styles, and then you can combine them. And that is just incredibly exciting. And you can share them with people, right? So there's just a lot within like the Midjourney community that this is also very mind-blowing. Also would really like API, but that is not one of their things. So
and Midjourney is still used in Discord, right? You have to be in Discord to use it.
Yeah.
Which is a problem for me because a Russian hacker took over my email address and created a Discord, and I can't get Discord to correct that. I've been in support with them, and so I'm basically shut out of using that email. I'll have to create a separate email account to use Discord.
Oh no. So they are also working on the website, and so there is a new website, and you can see on the website there's like the place where you would enter your prompt that says coming soon. So that is definitely what they're working on. And
I'm looking forward to that because
me too.
a violator of Discord, apparently.
A Russian violator.
I will. I think that will bring me back to Midjourney. I'll be the first to say that I have sort of. Hey, we got Carl here. What's going on, Carl? I was just saying that with Midjourney, since DALL-E 3, not that they're comparable. I mean, Midjourney is far superior, but for ease of use and being somewhere where I already am most of my time, which is in ChatGPT, I think I just got billed for Midjourney, like whatever it was, like $10 a month. And I honestly was thinking to myself, like, oh, damn, I probably need to like cancel that, because you just get these recurring AI charges and you're like, oh, we have a conversation about that later in this week about how would you spend $100 per month if you had it on AI. So maybe I'll hold that till there. But a better user experience, a better website, something that was just easier and in my browser and not Discord. I'm with Andy that I think it will pull me back to Midjourney, to be perfectly honest. Because I really do love like how easy like Leonardo is to use, and I'm just much more likely to go use Leonardo for that reason alone. So that'll be really interesting. But
So I will just take quickly to that. I use Discord in my browser, so I have it, but I like being able to use it in the browser because then I can use Chrome plugins and that helps.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So Carl, we have decided that we would talk about the Dev Day stuff towards the back half. So maybe in another 5-6 minutes, so that we didn't accidentally not get to any other use cases or news stories. So I shared something really quick about the new Tesla or Grok. And then we talked about Midjourney a little bit. I have a quick story, but I think what YouTube is doing, they're adding like sort of an LLM feature to their premium users with their videos. So essentially, if you're on like mobile and you're looking at a video, now below it, I don't know if this is rolling out to everybody yet, you could ask follow-up questions that are part of that video, like what do they say about this, and it'll say, oh, in this video they talk about whatever. Or you could actually just use it almost like a true LLM and say like, and I don't know what it's built on. I mean, if it's Google, so it must probably be built on BART or whatever. But you could ask additional questions and sort of expand your knowledge reach beyond that video, which I think is just sort of a very natural next step. I mean, you already have all the auto transcripts for the YouTube. So them being able to just queue up against those transcripts makes total sense to me. And I think it's a really cool thing. I think it's actually going to be used. I could almost see my daughter using it with it, because she wants to know things about, like, she's following like an influencer or something like that. And they may do something, like she follows this show, Not Enough Nelsons, and she likes one of the girls' styles a lot or whatever. And so I could definitely see her asking follow-up questions in that style of like, well, what do they, what is that thing, or what does she have, or, those kind of things. So could be a great another resource for Google in terms of the marketplace and things like that. I guess we'll have to find out, but that was another one I just wanted to share because I thought that was really interesting.
Right.
What else?
So Carl and Andy, have you got anything for us?
Well, I'm just going to show Anne's comments.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Anne is playing with Midjourney and DALL-E. Midjourney so much better. DALL-E prompting so much better. And Anne is in the Discord as yuck, gross, barf.
LOL.
I'm with you, Anne.
When we're talking about Midjourney or DALL-E, the one thing, did we ever talk about I think the first copyright battle, like that was the judge, how the judge rejected the claim against AI being a copyright violation? Have we talked about that? Because I think lost in all the news is, all these people are suing Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, OpenAI, and so on. But like that was the first blow, was that the judge, I wouldn't say against. I think it was more of like, I don't know, there's a legal, our resident AI legal expert. Yeah, William.
I was about to say, William corrected us on that, because I actually did talk about that, Carl. And what he corrected me on was that it wasn't that the judge threw it out or there was some sort of win or loss. He said what his comment was maybe a week or two ago when I mentioned it was this is a very normal thing where essentially, I'm going to mess this up. It's a super layman's terms, but essentially they put it, they put up certain things to the judge, and the judge evaluates them, I guess, and says, well, some of this needs to be reworded or reworked before it can be submitted again. And it was something fairly minor like that. So I will have to go research back to what William's comments were on it. But basically what he was saying was not as big of a deal as what it sounded like, what some of these blogs were making it out to seem like. Oh, there was like a smackdown of this is, you can't do this, you can't sue. And that's not what it was, apparently.
Obviously, like for those who are non-legal experts or who don't practice law, that, the first thing that you saw was, oh, AI 1, artist 0. Like that's literally what we're all thinking. But the thing is, though, even I think that was just that people reporting on that news alone was pretty big to me, because the joke is, if you want like a lucrative career right now would be an IP lawyer, because you're going to have business for the next 10 years as AI evolves and all that kind of stuff. But I think like the more and more, and even some of the comments, which was really interesting on some, I can't remember which Slack channels they're like, some people, I don't know if it's just within the AI community, it's like, oh, we're tired of copyright laws, we'll just do it, whatever, I don't care. I think this is a very dangerous kind of thinking, because, as humans, we create stuff. And then if people stop creating stuff because, oh, well, why would I want to create my own unique version because I can't protect it and AI is just going to take it? I think that's a little bit dangerous path that we should just dismiss the people who have that. It's like, hey, copyright is important because it goes down to the core, like what makes people unique. And if people can't be unique and express themselves in whatever way because they're not protected, I think that's a detriment to society. Not to get like philosophical from the news.
Oh, sorry, Ann.
I was going to say that it's a longer discussion, but I heard on NPR recently a whole article on applications with patent approvals for things that were already discovered and in practical use in other countries. So our US patent system doesn't go and search every patent everywhere in the world and or establish clearly that this is truly an innovation. So it's a tricky subject area, and it is that. But let's get to the last half of the show here, which is going to be about the tectonic change that's happened here because of the Dev Day announcements.
Yes.
I want to say one thing about that. One of the newsletters this morning, the Neuron, said you don't really need to use anything other than this one AI service. It's OpenAI, ChatGPT. It does everything. Don't even bother looking at the others. And that raises my hackles. I really don't want that to be the result here. And so I want to champion one of the other bits of news that's related to Dev Day, but it's about a totally different approach. And that's LangChain's announcement of OpenGPTs. So one day after the Dev Day announcement, LangChain has announced a platform, open source, that will let you do exactly the same thing, but using any of the LLMs, not just OpenAI's. So yay to open source.
Wow.
And I imagine that will open up, like we talked about this yesterday a little bit, but open up more opportunities for like APIs and things like that. Whereas with ChatGPT, we're still not 100% sure how much you have to be in the platform to use these, or whether they'll be available outside of them. So maybe that's that. Anyway, I'm with you. Yay to open source and the companies that continue to push that forward. And yeah, I don't agree that you only need to. It's going to be a powerful tool, but there's so many other good tools out there that do things that ChatGPT is not focused on and not their core business.
It's seductive though, as a utilitarian platform for using AI. I find it hard to avoid that. I'm working on notionally, I'm working on an application that would be like Assistance API is a gift to me, because now I can do it all within that ecosystem. But I'd been asking this question over the past couple of days: what does it actually cost, and what are the limits on the storage? And I read this morning that it's $6 per gigabyte to have documents stored in the Assistance, platform. So that's pretty expensive. It depends on, and what it would do is actually it would cause me to say, okay, I'm going to use large language models to condense all of the content that I have in a vector database and put it into some compact form that doesn't exceed 3 or 4 gigabytes. So that's efficient. I think that's good, but it's still insanely cheap, really, when it comes to the complete power that's available by putting documentary storage into OpenAI and then creating an assistant and making it available.
A month or a year? A month.
Month. $6 a month per gigabyte.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to watch
that is expensive.
You know what though? Listening to this, the when you talk about, Andy, like, hey, we got to have competition. The only problem right now that I see, especially if you want to go open source, is for the general public who already has a hard time educating themselves on, the rapid advancements of AI. Who's going to go to Hugging Face? Who's going to go to various tools to actually, use something other than what's easily available? Like, you can go to Character AI, you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Bard, and even Bard is having a hard time like getting people to use it. And how are you going to use Llama unless you know where to find these things? But like, a very simple example, we're doing workshops, an AI boot camp in our company over the next 6 weeks. Everybody, I would say 90% of the people, it's all ChatGPT. How do I log in? How do I log in? How do I use it? How do I use it? Like, that's it. There isn't. And it's like, and even some of our licenses, even for 3.5, we don't have enough. Oh, it's like, hey, could you use Perplexity, use Claude if you can get in? But everybody just like, hey, I want ChatGPT. I don't want to use those products. Even though I'm like, Claude's pretty good. Perplexity is technically the same thing, but with web search is pretty cool. But no. I want ChatGPT. And I think that is there's
momentum there. And their usability is by far, superior. And that's it. That's the real lubricant towards the domination of the market space out there. I want to respond to David Kincaid's comment, which is, GPT-4 is orders of magnitude better. You can still use GPT-4 in OpenGPT, I'm sure. Like, they're not going to be blocking. OpenAI is not going to be blocking access to your API for GPT-4 when you're using external tools like LangChain.
I think for me, the OpenAI versus all the alternatives, I suspect it's going to go down the same path of Windows v Linux, or beta versus VHS video, or things like that. At some stage, the general public just tends to gravitate to one product that, whether it's easier or just had better marketing or whatever. And so unless someone really comes out with
Netscape Windows, remember all that Netscape Windows, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I bitched and complained about Windows for many years, but realistically, only the super geeks use Linux as a rule. And I suspect, unless somebody else comes out with something that's really killer, I still kind of think that OpenAI may end up taking the lead and be the primary product in that market.
I think it's more accurate to say Windows versus Mac. Right?
No, sorry.
So the reason I said Windows versus Linux is Linux is open source.
Right.
So I was going down that view part. So
I want to bring up Ann's comment here. There is no way, in my honest opinion, that, quote, normal people are going to click around to things like Hugging Face and Llama and Bard and words they don't know or care to learn. And then she said, not a single person I've trained anyway.
100%.
Yeah. I'll just I'll add to that. I mean, like I've now gone in, I don't know, trained. I've worked with a lot of different clients, specifically in the sales roles, and that's exactly what happened to us. Like I built this whole sales prompt library that now people can buy, and it's like a Notion page. And anyway, it's got 60
Bring up
plus
that website. He's promoting.
He's promoting. Yeah. I know. And I'm like trying to get past that part of it so I can explain it. Anyway, it's a sales prompt library, and it's sales prompts. And you can get it. No. My point is saying that though is
salesprompts.com.
yeah, it'll be at the bottom here in a second. My point to it was saying that initially, to your point, initially I did have things in there that went over to Claude because it made sense. And initially I had things that went over to maybe even Bard because it made sense. And I will say it wasn't really me, although I agree with him. It was my CEO who actually pushed back, and he's like, they're not there, Brian. He's like, you've got to roll back and go to where they actually are. And right now, barely, to your point, Carl, barely they understand ChatGPT. Now, that is not a knock on all the professional salespeople out there. The reality is it's just not in their worldview right now, like it is like us, like where we talk about this every single day. So, and he was absolutely right. I, as the AI strategist, wanted to go build amazing things. And let me show you this, and let me show you that. He's like, what they really need to know is how to write a simple prompt. What they really need is a prompt that's going to give them a repeatable answer over and over and over again. So even when I look at the prompt library that we built, the prompts themselves, they're not, I wouldn't call them simplistic, but they're not with markdown method or anything like that, because even that caused an anxiety. If you're just brand new and it doesn't look like a sentence, it doesn't look like a paragraph, immediately that brings up a bit of anxiety. If I don't know what this is, I want to push back. This looks like something new I have to learn. And rolling this back to the dev day, what I think ChatGPT is continuing to show is that they are trying to put a product in front of people that is just simple, easy. We can see that because now they're like, and Aaron, maybe you can share your screen on this. Now they're, because Aaron has the new version of ChatGPT.
I do too, as of this morning.
Oh, okay. I don't. ChatGPT just broke for me today. That's where I'm at. I don't have the new version yet, but you know, Aaron, if you want to show it on the screen, like now everything is in one simple. Here, I'm adding it to screen now.
So first things first. So those of you who haven't seen the new one, I got it straight away, much to my surprise, because usually in Australia we get it last. So probably the most obvious change is this. We used to have that thing at the top before, which was 3.5 versus 4, and then you would have drop downs to choose DALL-E or whatever. So now it's just a simple drop down here where you can choose GPT-4, which has DALL-E, browsing, and analysis all in one, so you don't have to reopen a new window to use it, which is great. You've got 3.5 if you want to go back to that, and you've got plugins. So I did a variety of tests, and the first one was you can now ingest bigger documents. So this one here, if I just this is just a PDF I have. It's like an 17-page PDF of how to write a script for a video created by a company called Primal Video, which is really cool. I've done some training with, and they've got this document here, and I just uploaded it and said, hey, read the contents and then rewrite the below script, which is just, I went to ChatGPT and said, write me a script on this topic, and then rewrite it using that structure. So that was the original script, and then it just came back and it rewrote it with no instruction from me beyond use what's in the PDF. I was pretty impressed with that. It wasn't perfect, but it was very impressive that it did that. And that's, so far, that's good. I've managed to upload like 30 and 40-page documents, and it's summarizing them. So we couldn't do that before. So that was number one I was really happy about and impressed. Then I went to the playground and had a look at the assistants. So for those of you, if you've got ChatGPT, you may not have this. You might have to set something up separate for this, but assistants were basically, the idea is that you can create your own automated kind of assistant, funnily enough. And so I said, okay, I'm going to create a video creation tool which can do slide videos for me. I told it, you're a highly experienced content creator, blah, blah, blah. When given a video title and an overview of the subject, you can write a script for the video and also generate 16 by 9 images for the slide and the scenes. And I basically said, it's disappeared now, but I basically said, here's the topic, 5 ways to prepare your home for sale. And what it did is it came back with this, and I was wowed by this. So That was the original title. So not only did it come up with each of the slides, well, I did tell it to do 5 and it did 10. I thought that was interesting. But what it did is it gave me a script and it gave me a description for an image, which I could then go to DALL-E. Now, my hope was that it would do everything in the one shot, and it wasn't able to create the images. So I had to go and do them manually. It did give me an option to try and do it with Python's image generation capabilities. Didn't work for me. So
you can automate it.
yeah, that's what I'm. So I was trying to talk to Carl offline, saying, "I'm sure this is an easy fix. You'll have to show me how to do it." So what I did in the end was I just went to DALL-E and just copy pasted each of the descriptions and created images, and it came up with some really nice images for me. So this is just like a sample real estate type thing. And then what I did is I threw it into my favorite video editor, which is descript.com. Each of these is a scene. I just uploaded the videos. It's got the whole video there. And then I went and turned my AI voiceover on, and it created a voiceover. And now you've got a video. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. I'll just play it for 10 seconds. But it's now a functioning, working slideshow video.
Guide on 10 ways to prepare your perfect home for sale. If you're looking to sell your home and want to ensure you get the best possible
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can. There's a bit of an echo on it, but we can hear it.
Yeah. So, look, is it perfect? No. But it's, if I can automate the process, this is going to make a hugely easy task for me to create these kind of videos for clients. If you want to actually see the video, just go to my YouTube channel, and it's this one that says AI video demo there.
Welcome to our guide on.
And so you can watch the whole video there if you
Aaron,
want.
sell your course.
Yeah.
Sell your course. Sell your course.
I don't have one. I need to. But yeah, so the bottom line is that, I've done this sort of stuff manually before. Normally I would go to Canva and you'd spend 5 or 10 minutes finding one image for each slide, and it would take a couple of hours to do it. DALL-E didn't get it right, but probably about 8 out of the 10 the images it gave me for the slides were actually good enough to use straight away. So it definitely speeded the process up. I'm impressed that it not only wrote the script, but gave me the prompts to use. So now if I can automate this thing, hint, hint, Carl, I've got a powerful tool there to pump out video content really quickly.
And
so
you only use
really
2 tools there, which is really impressive, Aaron. I mean, you only had 2 tools, which was like you basically stayed in the OpenAI ecosystem, either between the playground or whatever, and then you used Descript, which you would set up with your own voice cloning. So, I mean, that in itself, when you think about what you just created, and then the fact that it was already live on YouTube and how fast you were able to do that in itself is really, really amazing. And again, I think where we're going to see the big push for OpenAI is that one-stop shop. You just have to come here to do these kind of things, create whatever it is. What I think yours was showing too, and you didn't have it in your particular chat, but just as one of the announcements is that as they combined everything together, then you could have perhaps kept going in the ChatGPT chat and said, create me some images in there, and it should have been able to do it because it can pull from DALL-E in that one as well.
Yeah,
so
and that's what I thought. I think I was probably just not using it right. I'm not a coder at all, so Python is like a snake to me, if you know what I mean. And at the moment, I'm using Descript for the editing, but I could easily foresee a case when you'll actually be able to do the editing in OpenAI Playground or even in ChatGPT. I don't think it's that far away, to be honest.
Okay, so David Kincaid was asking, are there image links at the bottom of your output? Because when the API creates images, it creates them, it gives you a link to them. That's what happens to me in Make as well, right? And so those may be something
Can you let me share the screen again, whoever's got it?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Here you
go.
So
what happened was I got these,
but
they ended up showing me, all I ended up with is, if I can find the right folder, I'll just move the screen. That was what it created when it tried to do it.
Okay.
So as I said, I'm sure there's just something I'm probably not doing right. That's why I had to go and manually do them. But I'm sure there's an easy fix for that.
Yeah, totally.
So we're at like about 4 minutes over, which is about right. Are there any like, I mean, as far as, I don't know, takeaways or any major like, I don't know, takeaways, I guess, from the news? I'm obviously a lot from Dev Day, but other news that came out, Midjourney, we talked about, Elon Musk and what they're doing at Twitter with their language model, YouTube. We didn't talk about it, but Beth, you mentioned it before the show about how there was a huge safety conference in London that just wrapped up this last week, and that got a bit overshadowed, but there was, 28 different, I think, major companies that were in attendance for that. And, sort of the title I got on, like, the headline was, not a lot of progress, but meaningful progress, was sort of the summary I got on that. So I know we didn't really mention that one. Any other like news stories that we didn't get to that we can hit super quick?
Well, like that safety thing, does that include Biden signing the artificial intelligence executive order?
We did talk about that
last week, right?
Yeah. Not a new thing, but in terms of wrapping up, I think the like top-down upshot of what Dev Day did is it's possible for people to do more faster with fewer resources and fewer people. Right. So this is like the beginning of like potentially a huge possible wave of innovation. And I've been buzzing about it since it occurred.
Those of you watching who don't know anything about Dev Day, or maybe not a techie propeller head in that department, look up on YouTube, look up Matt Wolf, and he does a breakdown of the whole thing in this week's video, and it's a really good plain English overview of the whole thing. So worth a watch if you want to know more.
And that's Wolf with an E. It's got an E at the end of it, so you can find him. Yep. He also does the website, which we look at all the time, futuretools.io, which is an amazing website for catching up with not only news, but latest things. He does a really, really great job. But I agree. His YouTube, if nothing else, his Thursday video, I think it may come out on Fridays, of his weekly wrap-up video. If you just watched one YouTube video a week, that one would be worth it if you want to keep up.
Yeah.
Carl?
He's good.
Yeah, Aaron, you shared something very funny yesterday, and I think everybody should go to this to see how fast AI is moving. Is dang.ai, where you see a directory of all the AI tool graveyard, where all the logos that have come out over the past year, how many of them are no longer being updated, how many are to the wayside. And I thought that was really, really, that was an awesome share, because, I remember a lot of the same influencers are like, yeah, this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool. And it's like, hey, look at them. They're all there in the graveyard. And so it's like, I was like, that's a very good indicator of how fast and how crazy this whole tech is moving.
Yeah. I mean, I go back to Windows versus Linux. I think it's going to go that way myself. So.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Sorry, I got distracted by dang.ai and their graveyard. You should go check that out. I was going to look to see if there's any tools I had used on there. This is look, I think I enjoy this. Is probably our fourth or fifth now Wednesday sort of news wrap up, and I always really look forward to the show every week, because I learn a lot, but it's always great to just kind of wrap our heads around what literally happened in the last 7 days. And with AI, who knows? This was a very, very busy week. Last 7 days, and as we get to the end of the year here, is it going to slow down? Is everybody going to get tired and eat lots of Thanksgiving and figgy pudding and whatever else around the holidays, and nothing's going to happen? Or are we going to see some more major announcements between now and the end of the year? And I don't know. So I think that's the
Carl and I have a bet.
We do over under about Google, because they have to respond or something over the next.
I agree with that.
They have to.
Just watch out on January 1 for Skynet taking over the world.
All right,
guys. Until tomorrow, this has been the Daily AI Show. Don't forget you can catch us on other platforms as well. If you happen to be catching us on LinkedIn or YouTube Live, we also have our replays there. But you can also find us, in fact, the video version on Spotify, and you can also find the full podcast every day on Adobe Podcast, and I'm not sorry, Adobe Apple Podcast, and that is growing quick. So thank you to all of our listeners on Apple Podcasts platform. We appreciate you. All right, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.